Anastasia and welcome back to my channel. I hope each of you is having a beautiful day. I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but where I live, April showers have been raging in full force. So I thought it would be a good idea to create an April shower survival guide of sorts to get you through these rainy days. I'll be the first to admit that when it comes to taking care of hair, I am the absolute worst in the world. So I'm definitely the last person that should be dishing out any sort of hair advice whatsoever. But there is one area concerning hair where my hair takes the cake. I promise you, you would be hard-pressed to find a head of hair that reacts any worse to humidity than this one. With that said, there are several effortless, very easy, very natural hairstyles that I've identified over the years as being the lesser evils. So I thought I would share those with you today. Hands down, the best remedy to tame hair that, in the words of Lana Del Rey, takes a walk on the wild side, is to hide it. If you've ever wanted to turn your midnight locks a sunny platinum, or pretend you were born a Vila or Daenerys Targaryen, but refrained from fear that bleach would make your hair fall out, this is your moment. Don a wig in the color of your choosing, and the world need never know that your hair is pulling a Monica in Barbados. Okay, so I might be kidding, I think. In all seriousness, this first look is as easy as pulling 2 locks of hair from the front of your face and securing them in the back. It seems silly that such a simple change can have much of an effect, but I found that there is a certain goddess vibe at work in the style that allows it to succeed where your typical all hair down look tends to fail, which is when hair curls up and away on a rainy day. On the contrary, this look still thrives with flyaways. Loose braids are perfect for wet conditions because they get cuter as they unravel. I just sectioned my hair off into 2 parts, which I braided in the traditional messy variety, but fishtail braids would be a perfect alternative if you have long hair.
Tears they carried inside, and I wept myself through a maze of days.
I like to pull out several layers of hair to frame my face and to complete the disheveled vibe. This look can be topped off with a giant fedora or a baseball cap for ultimate weatherproofing. But sometimes you just can't be bothered to deal with the fact that your hair discovered a mind of its own. On days like these, nothing tops a top knot. Not just any top knot. Topping a top knot with a jewel-encrusted headband allows you to maintain a polished look even when all hair breaks loose. Own it. Pull hair out at the crown to elevate the look. When it comes to picking films to watch, I find that I often gravitate towards movies that have a certain vibe or environment similar to my own. Have you ever noticed how when it's pouring or otherwise storming and you find yourself outside surrounded by a lot of people, the rain almost knits you together in a way because you're all experiencing that crappy weather together? Oftentimes, I like to feel a similar sense of weather solidarity with characters in the movies I'm watching. My first pick is a film called One Fine Day, starring George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer. It doesn't matter what mood you're in when you go into watching this movie because One Fine Day has a magical way of lifting it no matter what. I find that some movies leave me with a really weird vibe at the end, even if it's a happy ending. One Fine Day does the exact opposite. Despite the fact that it rains throughout a large portion of the film, the ending just fills you with such warm, cozy, and fuzzy vibes that I definitely recommend this as my top choice for film to watch on a rainy day. Everything about it just encapsulates a feel-good film for me. from the warm tones to plenty of cats on screen and adorable little children and a budding romance. I watched it recently and it made my day, so I hope that if you end up watching it, it makes your day as well. My second pick for what to watch on one of these rainy April days is Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris. This is one of my all-time favorite happy, beautiful, dreamy, and whimsical films to watch. I truly don't think there is any better place to be transported on a rainy day than to rainy Paris. And transported you surely will be. My next film to watch on a quintessential April day is a film called Only Lovers Left Alive, starring the epic Tilda Swinton and the epic Tom Hiddleston. I realize this is my second film starring Tom Hiddleston that I featured so far, the first being Midnight in Paris, but I just love Tom Hiddleston, what can I say? I find him to be an amazing actor and just a really cool human, so be it. This film is much more artsy and slow-paced than the other ones, but I watched it recently and it's instantly climbed to the top of my favorite films. If you've heard anything about Only Lovers Left Alive, you might know that it is indeed a vampire film. But you also might have heard that it's been deemed one of the greatest additions to the vampire film genre, and I completely agree. The film focuses much less on the vampire aspect and much more on just what it means to be somebody that has lived for so long. That's what I found the most fascinating about it, because beyond the beautiful cinematography, the brilliant performances, and the amazing soundtrack, at the core of the film is one of the most thought-provoking and just genuinely wonderful love stories that I have seen in a film. I stumbled upon an article or a blog post that I really enjoyed, which I will try to find and link it down below so you can check it out. It made me realize that Only Lovers Left Alive proposes a theory or an image of what love would look like for a relationship in which time is not a factor, or what a relationship could look like if it could develop over the course of eternity. And that's what I think makes it really beautiful, and also a little bit disheartening, because the characters are what one might call ultimate relationship goals, but it's pretty much impossible to achieve or recreate because none of us will ever live that long. My next pick for a film to watch on a rainy April day is called The Jane Austen Book Club. The title is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't say too much about it other than the fact that it follows a group of people who are brought together by their decision to form a Jane Austen book club. There's just something always really cozy about seeing people read, whether it's in real life, in photographs, or on screen, that made me think that this was a great movie to watch on a rainy day. And I think a nice film to tie into that is actually Pride and Prejudice starring Keira Knightley. I haven't watched it in years, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it, except that I know there is an amazing rainy scene at the end of it, which I think would be a great way to end your April Showers movie marathon. The great thing about rainy days that can be spent indoors is that when it comes to books, pretty much anything goes. You don't have to pick a book based on it having a rainy atmosphere, because books and rainy days just instantly go together. Although, to be honest, if I'm personally looking for something that has a bit of a rainy mood, I will probably turn to Harry Potter. Sometimes you just want to live in a book, and I've never found a book that I wanted to live in more than Harry Potter. Whether it's playing Quidditch during a storm or cozied up in the Gryffindor common room beside a window smeared with rain, there's just no other book I'd rather exist in on a rainy day, to be honest. This video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
The tears they carried inside, and I wept myself through a maze of days.